Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today we have the topic 3. It is about United Kingdom's physical structure and overview of Britain and Ireland's physical structure, relief, and drainage. The card introduces the main contrasts between highland and lowland regions, the distribution of rock ages, and the role of rivers and lakes in shaping human settlement and economic activity. Intended for secondary school geography students and teachers. Highland and lowland Britain, the broad pattern. The first, let's discuss about Highland Britain. The older rocks and the general high relief concentrated in western and northern areas, Scotland, parts of Wales, Cumbria. Terrain, mountains, plateaus, dissected valleys, glaciated features, sparse population, pastoral farming, and areas of water storage. And what about lowland Britain? Younger rocks, low relief, and more continuous agricultural and urban landscapes in the south and east, Midlands, East Anglia, and London Basin. Denser population, arable farming, and industry historically concentrated here. Geological trend. Oldest rocks in uplands, youngest in the lowlands, a key to understanding relief, soils, and land use. Then everybody must remember this and last sentence especially, yes? And what about England meadow uplands and the Pennines? Pennines are often called the backbone of England, stretching roughly 250 kilometers from the Tyne Valley and the Trent. They form a high tableland with summits such as Crossfell. Important functions are features. Watershed dividing rivers flowing west to the Irish Sea and east to the North Sea, contains dales, long open valleys carved by rivers, now popular tourist destinations, high rainfall, historical powered woolen mills, and now reservoirs supply industrial towns. Transport corridors follow river gaps, linking Lancashire, Yorkshire, and Cumbria. Illustrative note, the Pennines Act is both a physical barrier and a service provider, water, recreation, and habitats. Northwest England, the Lake District and the Cumbrian Mountains. Lake District landscapes. Peaks such as Scafell and Helvellyn surround deep glacial lakes. Windermere, Ilswater, and Thirlmere formed by glaciation. The area is sparsely populated. Sheep farming and tourism dominate. Local stone and the slate-shaped vernacular architecture. Human geography. It is traditional economy, pastoral farming, especially sheep, and small fields divided by dry stone walls. High annual rainfall, Seaswade claims 3,300 millimeters explain rapid river flows, lush vegetation, and abundant water resources for reservoirs. Southwest Peninsula, Dartmoor, Exmoor and coastal geology. The southwest, Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, is shaped by upland moors that, as we said about Dartmoor and Exmoor, and dissected coastline. Key points. High moorland plateaus with tours, and erosion has left the platforms between about 150 and 300 elevation. Fertile river valleys and lowlands produce the best agricultural soils, northern Devon, Vale, or Taunton. Distinctive coastal rocks, granite and Land's End, serpentine and at Lizard Point with local crafts using stone. And the last is tourism is a major economic activity due to dramatic landscapes and coastline. Okay, now Wales. The Welsh Massif and the human impacts. It is geology and relief. Worn down mountain ranges, Cambrian mountains from high plateaus. Snowdon is the highest peak, Snowdon, and mountains often approach the sea, especially in North Wales. And Wales population and economy, Southern Wales contain coal fields, sites of industrial growth, and dense settlement, Cardiff area. Elsewhere, low population density, sheep grazing on upland moors, and dairy farming in valley bottoms. The decline of coal has led to economic challenges and unemployment in former mining communities. Culture, the Welsh Massif is a Highland where language and Celtic traditions are best preserved. Okay, now Scotland. Its highlands, southern uplands, and central lowlands. First, highlands. Dominated by the Grampians and the Northwest Highlands, Ben Nevis is the UK's highest peak. Great Glen is a major fault line containing Lochsmith, Oak, and Lochie. Sparse population and crofting economies. Okay, southern uplands, plateau-like, glacially smoothed hills, agriculture dominates, and population is dispersed in valleys and lowland areas and central lowlands. The most densely populated region, major industrial history, coal, steel, shipbuilding, fertile pockets, Clyde Valley, support market gardening, and fruit growing. And here you have pay the attention to this note that Scotland's contrasting regions explain migration patterns, urban concentration in the central lowlands, and the rural decline in the highlands. And the next is Ireland. Its plains, plateaus, and loughs. Ireland is a predominantly rural island with a simple regional structure than Great Britain. The Central Plain, a product of glacial and karst processes, is ringed by uplands and plateaus. Key features, many shallow lakes and bogs caused by glacier hollows, and solution of limestone. Major uplands include the McGill's Cardi Reeks, it is Cardinal Lee, and the Wicklow Mountains. Antrim Plateau in the north, basalt geology, and the Gland causeway hexagonal columns of cooled lava. Political division is the island is split into the Irish Free State Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, 6 countries of Ulster. Do you know? Have you ever heard about it? And what are the rivers and lakes? Rivers and lakes, drainage patterns, and human use. As you see here, given the scheme of westward and southward, the rivers to the Irish Sea, Bristol Channel, and Sweden. Do you see here? And southward flows into the English Channel, Sea, and Avon. And between them is eastward rivers to the North Sea, Trent and Thames. And I'm sure that you know more information about Thames River, especially, yes? Okay, now let me say you about the drainage map of the British Isles in complex rather than radial. Highlights. Great Britain Severn has a sinuous route from central Wales to the British Channel, Trent and Thames show multiple direction changes. Scotland, many rivers drain east to the North Sea, from the east to the North Sea, yes? And Tweed, Forth, Tay, and in Scotland's longest at 170 kilometers. Okay, now the third is Ireland, the Shannon is the longest river in the British Isles, many short but navigable rivers due to even rainfall distribution. Lakes, lochs are largely glacial. Loch Lomond largest by surface in Great Britain to 70 kilometers square. And Loch Ness, deepest, it is a very deepest and long river. And Loch Ness, it is the biggest eastward lake in the Britain Isles. Its territory is 381 kilometers square. Okay, and human significance, rivers supplied medieval transport routes and the powered industry in mills, yes? Canals and waterways were important in the 18th and 19th centuries, but many declined with the arrival of railways and roads. Reservoirs in uplands now supply urban water demands. And at last, I want to say you about links between physical geography, people, and place. Okay, relief and rocks. Old rocks in uplands, high relief, young rocks in lowlands, gentler landscapes. And climate and water, westerly winds bring high rainfall to uplands, rapid rivers, reservoirs, and wet soils. Lowlands and drier and better for crops. Land use and economy, uplands shape forestry, tourism, and lowlands, arable farming, industry, and dense settlement. What about human settlement? Population concentrated in lowland basins, yes, and valleys. As we talked about Midlands, Central, Lowlands, Southeast England, uplands often face depopulation and rephrasal economic challenges. And here you have some key takeaway that Britain and Ireland's physical structure a product of geology, tectonics, and glaciation. underpins climate, soils, water resources, and the patterns of settlement and industry we see today. Okay, so it was the last slide of our today's lecture. And I hope that you take more and more information about physical geography and the people and places, about their rivers, about their relief and rocks, about of Great Britain. Yes? No? Thanks for your attention. The lesson is over. Goodbye.